Well, the rules for great wine and food pairing can be complex, but today we're going to help break it all down.
Let's welcome Michael Cardella. He is the executive chef at the Capital Grille on Wall Street.
Good morning, ladies. How are you? Thank you very much for having me.
We're great. Well, thank you for being here. First of all, this looks amazing. Tell us a little bit. I mean, obviously steak. Tell us a little bit about some of the steak that you brought here.
Sure. This is our tomahawk boned-in ribeye. It's a nice long piece. It's 32 ounces. We have our New York strip.
Wait. I just have to show this because this is ridiculous. So this is the 32-ounce steak right here.
Yeah.
This is like Flintstone.
Exactly.
It's very nice, very nice. Okay.
It's for the hearty steak eater.
It is.
Sure. Then you have our cut New York prime right there, 18 ounces. You have a Delmonico 32-ounce down there with a porcini rub on it.
Ooh.
Yeah. You have our monster 32-ounce porterhouse. And then we have our sliced filet with roasted wild mushrooms, cipollini onions, and fig essence, as well as some of our classic sides of our lobster mac and cheese and our roasted Brussels sprouts with bacon and soy glaze.
Cindy already called the lobster
I called the lobster mac and cheese. And then, of course, I asked about your desserts.
Excellent. Sure. We have our brulee cheesecake and our famous creme brulee right there.
Very nice. And you're going to make a little rub for us, right?
Yep. I'm going to demonstrate our signature Kona rub from the restaurant.
Okay.
It's very basic, very flavorful. It's going to be delicious. Then we're going to go with some grilling tips and some food and wine pairing tips.
Okay, so how do you put this together?
Okay, so we're going to start out with, of course, our Kona coffee, our main ingredient. Okay, we're going to put that in there. We have a little bit of cocoa powder in there to add a little bit of body.
These are things I would never think would go into a rub.
Yeah, you normally don't, but you got to figure how all the flavors kind of go together. You don't want too salty. Sugar will kind of take away from the saltiness or the bitterness of a dish.
It all balances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is our sugar right here.
I like this because I like sweet sauce. I mean, I know it's not a sauce, but it's got to taste
It really
delicious.
complements the beefiness of our steaks.
Right.
Okay. You have a little bit of Parmesan Romano, which is a little bit unexpected as well. You want to make sure it's finely grated so that it blends in well. Some fresh ground pepper. Our restaurant seasoned salt, which I really can't go into the details of.
It's
a signature for us. A little bit of dry mustard. And our granulated garlic. I recommend either using a whip or a sifter or something like that to kind of really incorporate everything together so that it eats balanced and you can get nice even seasoning on your steaks.
And then once this is all, how do you put it on both sides? Or?
Both sides. You can add it to any kind of shaker that you have at home just to get an even distribution and a nice even layer. It's important when you're putting a crust on to get a nice even layer so that the flavors are evenly distributed throughout the steak.
All right, and so now you were going to talk about some of the grilling tips.
Yes, some grilling tips. Of course, you want to start out with a beautiful cut of meat so you have nice marbling throughout for tenderness. The second piece is you want to season it evenly, like we just talked about, so you get even flavor throughout. And the third biggest thing is heat. Heat is the biggest enemy, or lack of heat is the biggest enemy when grilling steaks. When you don't have enough heat in the pan or the grill or the flat top that you're using, moisture tends to leak out and the steak eats chewy and it gets that gray color instead of that nice caramelization that you're seeing here, which is really important. So it's a big enemy of steak is that moisture. You got to make sure the pan is hot to get that instant sear and lock in the flavors. At our restaurants, all of our steaks are dry aged up to 24 days in-house. And they're fresh cut on a daily basis. So nothing comes in cryovac or anything like that. Everything is fresh daily.
And as John Elliott comes in, we also have some wine because people can be a little bit, they're not quite sure
what goes with
what goes with what. So what is your best recommendation?
So it's important to consider the flavors of the wine that it derives from the areas where it was grown and the terrain that it was grown in. You want to look for similar flavors in the foods that you're pairing it with because it'll really balance each other out. For example, a nice red blend, something with familiar grapes like Merlot, Cabernet, or Cab Franc, go very well with our Kona crusted 18-ounce prime right there because both of them have earth tones, a little bit of sweetness and stuff like that, and they really complement each other well. Another pairing that might not be as expected as people think is a lighter red like a Pinot Noir. Goes very well with a spicy tuna tartare or with our sliced filet with roasted cipollini onions and mushrooms and some fig essence. Once again, the sweetness and the earthiness really balance each other out. If you're a heavy meat eater like myself, you want to go something bold, sure. Like a Cabernet goes with our bone-in ribeye right there.
Very nice.
Delicious.
And
I hope the crew is hungry.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. I'm a nice red blend.